What's going on? It's Glendon Cameron here, founder of Hustlers Kung Fu, where it's all about making that money without a job. Tonight, we're going to talk about something very deep: escape the middle class, because that's going to be a problem for many people. And I'm going to explain in a minute. Get rid of this ad. There we go. So let's see. Let's jump into this. All right. I touched upon this earlier, but the middle class, or what is supposedly the middle class, pays the largest amount of taxes. I know you will hear that the top 20, the top 5% pays 80% of the taxes and on and so forth and all other trickery. The reality is you pay many taxes that you don't consider taxes. The lottery is a voluntary tax. Where does the money go? To the government. It's a voluntary tax. Tickets, voluntary tax. Well, involuntary tax, you get pulled over, you got to pay, or you suffer some penalties here. But for 49 to 55% of every dollar that you earn is going somewhere, right? So it's like all of your dollars in your wallet are torn in half and someone else is getting them some way, right? So the only way that you can escape the lower class, as someone put, the middle class, you've got to earn more money. And I'm gonna give you some numbers here, because I remember someone getting into a fight with me here on YouTube because I say like $1,500 a month wasn't a lot of money. It's not. It's not. All right. So where you need to be is 200K as a couple, and you need to be 125K as an individual. So not a lot of jobs are paying that. Most jobs don't pay that. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you something. Let's see. Hold on a second, because we'll be doing a lot of screen shares tonight. 51% of America does not make 30K a year. Seriously. All right. So let's go here. I'm going to go ahead and show this to you. This is just one thing. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So let's look at the percentage. 38% of American workers, 38%, close to 40. That's huge. Make less than $20,000 a year. 51% of all American workers make less than 30 grand a year. 62% of all American workers make less than 40. When you get to 50 G's, 71% of American workers make less than 50 G's. So if you're in those ranges, you're not even good, because what did I just tell you? Half of every dollar that you get goes to some kind of tax. So it's not really good. It's just not really good. So to escape, and I want you to think of an airplane. Everybody's been on a plane. With the planes, you could feel a rocket burns what's 40, 60, 70% of its fuel just breaking the Earth's atmosphere. So when you're in a place of inertia, you've got to have significant velocity to push you out of that. And many, many years ago, this was the conundrum I had. I was sitting there in my room on the boarding house, and I was thinking, how the hell do I get out of here? Because to me, my issues were not racism. My issues were not family. Well, to a degree, but my pressing issues were all 100% economic. Every last one of them. Economics dictated where I lived. Economics dictated how I lived. Economics dictated everything at that point. And I wasn't even in that. I wasn't even making 20 G's a year. So many people will say money does not change things. And, from a racist standpoint, it's like money doesn't change anything. Please forward me all of the clips of the rich Black millionaires who are getting shot by the police. Please send me the clips, show me the videos. You're going to be hard pressed to find them because I've looked for them. It's just not happening to that group. Can it happen? Yes. But you can go outside and catch a cold. But what you do is you take vitamin C. It's prophylactically. So I'm telling you that if you earn more income and move your class, you're going to insulate yourself from a lot of bullshit. Are you going to insulate yourself from all bullshit? No. But would you rather have 80% of the bullshit, or would you rather have 5%? It's your choice. Let's see. So we'll get into the chat room. Let's see what's in here. I don't know what happened to that other stream. I was trying Wirecast. It didn't work. What's up, Shalise? What's up, Knowledge Power? I'm still trying to escape the lower class. Henry 30, what's up? Virtual Input Peace, Knowledge Power Truth, Chris McDonald, Deep Game. Leona Hemsley said only the little people pay taxes. She, they kicked her out of the elite club because she told too much truth. Damn, 30K is nothing. Seriously, if you got to use the full 30K, because you make 50, you're going to pay 12 to 18,000 a year in taxes, which kind of brings you down to 30 something. So if you got to use most of your money, yeah, ouch, my wallet and feelings. So 350, 365, it's about 200 grand. And let's see. 1 point something a day to million a year, something like that. I think I never added it up. Knowledge is power. Money dictates your life and death in the USA. It does. Nina, depends on more where you live and what color you are. Yeah, some truth to that. Kobe Bryant dodged a rape case. So did Ben Roethlisberger. What's up, Urban? Amina. I'm going to keep messing up. What's up, Patches 301 and Bodish's 402. Okay, so here's the thing. And what I want to do tonight is shape perspective and use me and my path out. Typically, as someone in the middle class, everything you do is predicated on money, whether you appreciate it or not. Everything. What trips you take, what foods you eat, which is huge. This weekend, because I'm playing around. I'm thinking about doing another channel called Hustler's Kitchen, because I made some chili this weekend, but I used bison. I didn't use hamburger. I used bison, and that stuff is it's just so lean, and it really tastes good. But it's $10.22 per pound. And I've noticed this, and I've had this talk with many people. Eating healthy and eating well is not cheap. I'm not going to say it's expensive, because if the food you eat dictates your health, that's the reality. So if you eat good food, fresh food, better meats, better stuff, your body's going to have better things to build itself upon. So I can't say that's expensive, but I can say it's not cheap, if you know where I'm going with this. And part of the reason that you'll see many business owners, and you're seeing a lot, make it into their 80s and their 90s. One, healthcare is so much better than it used to be. We're living longer. There's better options. So many things. And to stay in the middle class, which is, and I'm going to just break it down. I'm not going to use these arbitrary terms of this is the middle class, that's the middle class. The middle class is 20,000 per year to 50,000 per year, 20K to 50K. That's the middle class. Now, typically, if you're on the lower end, and I say middle class because there are people who don't have that. There are people who have no money. There are people who are living in government housing. There are people who are on benefits, welfare, whatever you want to call it, food stamps, all this stuff. They don't have that. So those are the poor. Okay. Under 20K, those are the poor. 20 to 50K, which is where most of the country is. Let me get, for the new people who jumped in here, let me go ahead and show you the chart, because see, we're going to do the math here. Go here. There you go. Present to everybody. All right. So let's get up to 71% of all American workers make less than 50 grand. So to me, 71% is most, not half. It's most. This is why you have Walmart. This is why you have all these Dollar Generals. This is why you have CVS. This is why you have so many low budget type items. This is why Amazon sellers, most of that stuff is under $50, because that's the money that people have that they can spend. So being in that 20 to 50K range, and this is no indication or indictment on your personality or whether you're a good person or a bad person. It's nothing. That's none of that. And that's where typically people go. Like when folks want to use race, typically when you bring in race is to be racist. Typically when you bring up numbers like this is to be an elitist. And I'm not doing that. I'm doing this to illustrate to you that you have got to get the fuck out of that income range. You've got to do what you need to do to get out of there, because typically the problem with that range is, well, I'll tell you, remember the year I've talked about 2012 when I was trying all that social media stuff, and literally I made half the money I was accustomed to, but half of the money I was accustomed to was still six figures. So even though I fell, shit hurt. I ain't gonna sit here and go like, oh, it was a picnic. I was still way above the poverty level, because see, 20K to 50K is poverty level. Let's say you're making 50K, right? And you're losing, let's say you got a good tax thing going on, and you're losing 10 grand. So it's 40 grand, right? So we're going to pull out a calculator because we're going to be official tonight. We're going to be official. We're not going to just throw stuff out. So, you got a good tax thing, got a little side hustle. So 40 divided by 12. Whoa, wrong. I went way, way, way wrong. Where divided by 12. There we go. So that's $3,333 per month. Let's see, divided by 1,600 every 2 weeks. And that's if you're at the top of the chain. Okay. Wherever you're living, let's see, let's go back times 2. Wherever you're living, your rent's going to be, let's just say you got good rent. Let's say your rent's $850 for a 2-bedroom, or your mortgage is $850. All right, so that brings you down to $2,400. Now this is where shit gets dicey. You have a new car, minus $350, minus $250 for gas, minus $112 for insurance. All right, you're down to $1,700. Then that's just you. There's nobody else. Utilities, health insurance, all this other stuff, food. Let's just go ahead and take minus another $800 from that. Okay, that brings you to $971. And let's just say that's your money to blow. Okay, your new car, which you're making a payment on, transmission goes, we can't get a new one. So, oops, minus that $971, because now you're going to pay debt. So even at the high level, all it takes is one thing, one thing to happen, and bam, you're out of it. One. So that's why you got to get out of those ranges. Let's see what we got in here. Let's see. Whoa. There's a bunch of comments here. Hold on. I'm having to scroll back. What's up, Kiva TV? What's up, My 72? What's up, Comfort Zone? Let's see, Ron. Let's see, Sean, So True. Chris McDonald, Rich People in Whole Food. Ronnie Coons, I thought I was the only one wired like that. I'm going to make 60K on my first year doing HVAC, and I still don't think it's enough compared to what I make the company. See, at that level, it doesn't take much to knock you off. Shalice Henley, look out the Hustler's Cookbook. Knowledge is power. Yes, I do it. I love bison, but those fun. So though I cry when I buy the Keenway every trip. Low economic people eat more processed food, which creates more disease. Mine's 72. Both that shit's 402. Did you know other countries are losing paper currency, wealth? India, Venezuela. I hear the U.S. would get into this shit stick. Grant Cardone, get out the middle class. You do. He's right. Plus innovations like genetic counseling. Where are you getting these definitions? This is Hustler Kung Fu. I'm creating myself. This is my opinion. This is what I'm breaking down because I have been in all of those spots. Let's see, Sean. I'm giving you these parameters. I'm making them up because I've been there and I can tell you what happens. And I'm gonna give you some more game in a minute. Nope, these are not Department of Labor stats. Those are juiced. Let me show you. Let me just peep to you how the game goes. What do you hear all the time? Average household income is 50, 60,000. It's 2 or 3 or 4 people. That's average household. Single person working is under 30K. See, that's the trickery. That's the fuckery right there. It's like average household income, not average worker income. Big difference. But if you take the 2 people on the lower end, say someone making 20, someone making 30, boom, average household income is 50,000. And that looks much better than average worker income 25. So media and propaganda stuff. Knowledge is power. If you're single, no kids, you can eat healthy on a budget. Spouse and kids negative. Patches. Today, the news, Amazon has started a store that is cashierless. You pay at the door before entering. Millions of cashiers are going to be out of job. Okay, how many times have I said this was coming? I've been preaching this since 2010 and people thought I was full of shit. Amazon is opening up a store that has there's some humans up in there, but they're getting rid of people. Cashiers, what do? They wait till someone come to buy something. So there's a lot of downtime. That's a lot of money spread out over dozens or hundreds of stores. I would not be surprised. Like, you go to a store, you stick your credit card in there, anything you buy, touch, bam, they pull it off your card. Let's see. I live in New Jersey. 50K isn't much. Oh, I'm gonna get deep. Amazon Go stores. Patches, you scared the hell out of me. Let's see. Wait a minute. People in Birmingham, Alabama think 50K is middle class. I am from the area. It's pretty poor. It could be. Seriously. Rent 750. Oops, 700 plus home or apartment insurance. No, just part. I'm eating a dessert, trying to hide from the truth and ran out of places to go. What's up, I Shine Pressure Washing? This is another example of disruptive economy. Oh, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. How mom and pop Uber type stores can have opportunities to small service businesses. I mean, seriously, the government numbers are juiced or tricked. All right, let's see. I'm just trying to get through it because I see this is going to be hot tonight. Well, I'm gonna break that down, Sean. I wasn't challenging your definition. I was just curious because the definition of middle class is somewhat dubious. All right. I titled this because I use words and terms of phraseology that people understand. There is no fucking middle class. But if I had put that, people are like, what? It's going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. Yep, I've been saying this for a long time. Erica Wilson, true. Just like when they say unemployment has lowered, I'm gonna touch on that in a minute. Well, after you have been unemployed on a certain amount of time, they drop you out the equation. Everything is skewed. Yes. Irvin Thomas, wouldn't the machine cost more because of maintenance? No. As a carbon-based life form working for a company, there's your salary and there is a 13% employment tax. Well, that's part of it. Then if you have a lot of employees, there is unemployment insurance and you have workers' comp. So there's like 20% more money than they're paid that costs for each person. Now you go out and you buy an automated attendant and let's say it costs 20,000 and it has a life cycle of 5 years. It's way cheaper, even if it breaks down. JC Sanchez, do you believe that the housing market is going to skyrocket during the Trump years? Nope. I believe people with good jobs, good credit, and money are going to be able to get whatever they want. There are certain, my neighborhood during the summer, low inventory. I mean, essentially, a lot of all this foreclosure stuff is finally being absorbed by the economy and the marketplace. But I don't think so. I could be wrong, but no, I don't think it's going to happen, because here's the thing. To buy a house today, unless they've changed stuff, you have to have 2 to 3 years of tax returns on file. That's part of your mortgage application. And the process is, it went back to the old school, which a lot of people can't qualify, even if they have the money. Let's see. All right. Mr. Quamson, that's right. That's how I lost a job years ago. 4 million on a machine system, but hundreds of us lost jobs to save the company lots of money. I mean, it's just the way. All right. So let's get back to these definitions. I have been through each one of these stages, from no money to 20 to 50 to 70 to 80 to 100 to 150. Now, I'm going to tell you what happened with 150. That's when I got my first big check. I was working for this office furniture company. I did the big deal, and I go to my office, and there's this envelope. It's got my name on it, and I pull out this check, and I'm just like, this is mine? It was $64,000. Most money I've ever had in one time in my whole fucking life. And I had another deal and another deal. So I went out and bought a brand new BMW, but money was coming in that I was able to do that. And I got like fucking generous. I'm like leaving $20 tips. It was a nightmare. It was a good nightmare, but it was a nightmare because I was wilding the fuck out. But when I got to 150, I could do what I want, when I want, how I want, still pay all my bills and save money. But under 100, I could do more, but I had to save more. I had to be more judicious. So once you break that 150, you break that 200, you got allowances, and you got a cushion. Like okay, you're at 200 G's, right? Your car breaks down. You can pay cash for a new one in a matter of months. You can go out and finance at some ridiculous interest rate, even if your credit's busted, because you make so much, you can pay that sucker off in 4 or 5 months. So the interest rate doesn't really matter. But when you're in this 50 to 20K, car breakdown, drama. Someone gets sick, drama. You can't work for a month, drama. When my partner died, I didn't work for 6 fucking months. I didn't do shit for 6 months. So when you're under 50, and that's, I'm going to talk about why the middle class doesn't exist, is the way this system is rigged is if you are at an income level that doesn't allow you to live how you want all the time, and an income level that if you get sick and you can't work for a few months, that you just are, you literally go from ashy to classy. You are poor. You make 80 G's a year. You have great credit, but you have no reoccurring income. You have no income, no passive income. You have no property. You have no investments. You're poor. I know it sounds crazy, because once again, I'm giving you what I have gone through, and I'm teaching you what I have learned. And you want to get to a point where you have way more money than you need. And you have a point where you start getting rid of thirst. And thirst is, I got to take trips. I got to do this. Once you get all that out of your system, it doesn't really take a lot to make you happy. Because, you hear all these stories about these guys who are super wealthy, and they, quote, have normal lifestyles, and they don't do all this extravagant stuff. Unless you're just got to be out there in the street or on planes and doing this stuff, that doesn't really move you. Once you've had it, once you've done it, once you've tasted it, you're not driven by that shit. And that's another reason to get that income, so you can like flush it out of your system, because you have people who are trying to live the lives they want to live at 20, at 50, and they're trying to live the lives they want to live at 30, at 80. And it's just horrible. Let's see where we this is going. All right. Josh Barr, the automated attendant, is early for work, stays late, and never complains. And stuff's getting better. Shit doesn't break down like it used to. We're not going to talk about cryptocurrency. We're going to talk about building business and stuff, because we're going to get to a point where we're going to have credits and stuff, but we're not there yet. Plus, companies like Aura and the applicant tracking systems restrict employment. There are certain, this is something else too, there are certain really high profile jobs or really good jobs where you have to take tests and get credentials. And a lot of these tests, you only get one shot to take. You flunk it, you can never take that test again. So we've got that kind of stuff going on. It's really interesting what's going on in the US today. We're not talking about stocks, we're talking about building businesses. True wealth is the best opportunities, real talk. Okay, so like I said, if you're under 80 G's, you're very vulnerable. Even if you have really good saving habits, let's say you make 80 and you save 25 a year, okay? That's 25K. Let's say you've done it for 5 years. You got 125K in the bank, liquid, right? Then something happens and you can't work for a year. Now, let's go back to the Great Recession. We saw people who had 200, 300,000 in their 401ks gone. And then let's see, I'm gonna actually find this to you. I'm gonna prove this to you. Let's see. Ran through, because I remember watching this story on 60 Minutes. Ran through my 401. See if I'm trying to remember the guy, 250,000. During, hold on, I'm looking it up for new people coming in and thinking, hey, there's no sound. Where's the sound? All right. So let's come here. You can see I'm doing this to illustrate a point, because these people had more than the 125K that I just put down. All right. Present to everybody. All right. Go away. Let's see. This is just recession stuff, and this is stuff that's coming back. I can't afford to live month to month on this. I'm 65, 100% disabled Vietnam veteran benefits, 900 per month, 700 per month. I've been able to work since 2008. I moved in with my parents. My wife divorced me. I finally got on the Social Security disability. I went 29 months without work. After the economy really started going south, the media company I worked for got spooked, pulled up stakes, and relocated to New Mexico early 2009. I was 29. I went 29 months without work. My wife and I resorted to cycling cans. The Great Recession took my house, car, but not my job. See, this is stuff that's coming back. So that really wasn't like what I wanted to find, but I'll find that. But the whole deal is, if you manage your money very well and you get to 125, 150 grand liquid in the bank, that can go so quick, because money that's sitting there that's not really doing anything. That's why I keep saying, build a business. It may not make you a millionaire, but if you build a company, let's go back to Biff, the guy I used to work for, Biff, who was like, I started all this company. His father started the company, kept it going for 30 years, handed it to Biff. Biff became an instant millionaire. Companies are the way to go. Companies. Let's see. Good Lord, y'all are going hard in here. Let's see. True wealth is our best opportunities. It's the truth right there. I think 70K and under is considered the scarcity level on the wealth pyramid. Service business are a good start for better tomorrow. Patches, yesterday news stated that 6 million are behind on more than 90 days on car payments. Do you think paying off a house in about 7 years is a good idea? If you can float it, yes. And I'm going to explain why. Going back to this, let's say, fortunately for us, the way that things are set up, there's more good times than, let's see, let's put that back. I'm playing around with my effects and stuff. I need to bring this down a little bit. Okay. Usually there are more good times than bad times. I think we can all agree on that. So if you can go, and most people don't get sick, and these things that happen don't happen all the time. So if you have a 7-year run where you could pay off your house and get rid of your mortgage, get rid of your uh, having an apartment, yeah, if you can do that, because see, this is the thing. Now, everybody in here, and I want y'all to put this in the comments. I'm going to go through this real quick. Everybody in here who has a grandparent, an aunt or uncle who never made a lot of money, but has a house they paid off and is living just fine. Everybody that has somebody like that in their family, put that in the comments. You can't save your wealth. Chasing Ulysses. Okay, perfect. I just got my truck and I have my CDL exam tomorrow to get my license to start my own transport company with towing codes. Okay. Start your own business. Irvin Thomas, so one don't trust electronic things like stocks and 401k ones. Well, to be fair, a lot of these people were drawing down their 401ks and not contributing. So that happened. Let's see. Ty Lopez has a course on social media marketing. What are your thoughts? Can it be a good opportunity? Okay, let me just say this. I have major respect for Ty. I don't think he's a scam artist. I think he's a very sharp businessman. The social media things that Ty Lopez did, he came through the door with millions of dollars. They ain't gonna help you. I mean, I don't know his course. I'm not gonna say against it, or I'm not gonna say for it, but I do know that the way that he is doing his thing, I know people on his team. He has like 11 people running shit. He ain't doing what he's teaching. Not to say that what he's teaching is going to work, but I'm just laying it out there. Chris McDonald, I know a lot of guys their wives divorced them. Hey, Chase, 6 million are behind on their car notes. Jump right in, you'll make bank. This is coming back big time. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, here property, 150 acres, debt free. Awesome. Okay. Typically, as long as you're young and healthy and you don't have a lot of debt, you're fine. As you get older, that shit's going to change. So what I've learned is, and I talked about it earlier, like I was saving 50% of my income, and I did make it very clear that I had a high income. One of the reasons you want to get to the 125 per year, the 250 per year, is literally you can have a very good lifestyle and you can save, invest, start new businesses with the other half. You can literally do both because you have enough money, but as long as you're between 50 and 20K, everything is a struggle. It's a struggle. Vacations, you got to save up for it. You got to put it on layaway. You got to do the monthly payment plan. Everything is a struggle. Everything that you do, you have to think about how you're going to do it. And that doesn't leave a lot of bandwidth for starting businesses or escaping that hellhole. Now, this is how I did it. After getting laid off for the third time, and understand, I wasn't making big money. I wasn't making big money, right? I came up with a plan to climb up in class. Now, let's explain this. When you change class, and many people will say that racism will not allow you to change class. You're black, or you're Latino, or you're Asian, or a woman, or something like that shit. I'm here to tell you that shit ain't true. When you start transcending class, your circle changes. And as your circle changes, your opportunities increase. If everybody you know is broke, where's the opportunities that they can give to you? They can come to a cookout, they can come to a fish fry, but if everybody's broke, no one has connections, how does this work out? By the rent-a-crate thing, then I got into office furniture. I started going to parties with open bar. Okay, I had never been to a party with open bar. I don't drink a lot, but it was just, I saw all of this money. I just saw people so carefree. I'm at Neocon, which was a facility managers type conference where facility managers are the people who manage buildings, like these 10-story buildings up to these 100-story buildings. There is a team in there who handle the building, the security, the maintenance. That's a facilities managers, and they make bank too. And I got to meet people making 180 G's, 300, just talking about it freely. Like, you hear all this stuff, like it's verboten to ask somebody how much money they make. I'm hanging out with folks. It's like, yeah, man, I did 150 last year. Oh, I did 300. It was just like they were pouring wine. This is what I did. This is what I did. And I learned that, you'll hear people who are in this fake ass middle class, the fake ass middle class, I have all kinds of erroneous assumptions of how people with money act and behave. Yet they don't spend any time with people with money. And I'm not talking about serving people with money. I'm talking about hanging out with people with money, riding in the limo with people with money, going to their weddings, going to their kids' graduation parties, going to the fucking bar mitzvah. That's when you get those real fucking conversations. Like I remember, dude invited me to his son's bar mitzvah. Yes, I was the only fucking black person there. And I'm just sitting there, and everybody knew that what thing doesn't fit here, right? So everybody's coming up to me, and it's like, how do you know Jaime? And how do you know Seth, right? And I was just like, oh yeah. Oh, you do that on, and then all of a sudden, here's my card. Here's my card. Let's do this. Let's talk. Let's have lunch. So that's how they do business at a lot of fucking social events. A lot of business is done. Bar mitzvahs, golf course, hanging out, after the business meeting, in the club. And I've just seen amazing shit by being in the middle, the epicenter. And I started to realize that many of the things that I was told as a kid was fucking wrong. I was miseducated. I was lied to, bamboozled, led fucking astray. This isn't how this shit works. Well, no. It's a totally different game. Let's see. Good Lord, y'all are going hard in this. Good Lord, y'all are not playing in this one. Let's see. I'm gonna miss a lot because y'all are moving fast. How do you turn vanity metrics into profits? If you can convince, well, this is how a lot of marketers turn vanity metrics into profits. They go out and they say, look, hey, I got 1 million YouTube subscribers, and this is how I did it, and people pay them money. If you can influence people that the results you got for yourself, you can get for them, you can make money off of it. All right, let's see. Yeah, jobs are the least way to be secure, unless you have a very technical job and they need your ass. I mean, it's like you somehow shit shuts down. You mean that's job security. Rose, my grandmother and grandpa worked at Allison's to save their money and their house and cars paid off. I grew up in the neighborhood of poor people, right? And there were many of these people who worked in USA Steel, which was in Birmingham, worked in the coal mines, and they got their pension, paid their house off, and died in their houses. They didn't get shit repoed, and they didn't make a lot of money. So it isn't how much you make, it's how you use it. Let's see. Do you offer reselling courses for jewelry and finders? No. But what I do have, which I did not mention, is the 24-hour startup special. It's $149. It's under the video. Let me see. Did I actually? Let's see. Is that going to? It's going to take me out, but I will come back. I think I'm coming back. All right, I'm back. It's going to take a minute for all that stuff to refresh. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. And let's see. Let's shut her off. Let's go back. All right. I'm going to put the link of the course in a minute. I'm going to go through these comments. Birds of a feather. Thanks for the insights, Glendon. I was born into the poor class. Any idea how I can make some good connections with the 100K crowd? Success. Get results. Build a business. Start increasing your life in a manner where you actually run into these people by natural occurrence versus contrived events. My 72, my uncle, who was a millionaire, he got Parkinson's disease, late 70s, because he had money. He had the best care and was able to prolong his life for another 7 years. Hey, I'm with that. My partner was diagnosed at stage 4 rectal cancer and was able to live another 3 years because she got the best care, the best experiment. It makes a difference. If she didn't have that care, she probably would have died within 4 months. Let's see what we got. JC Sanchez, when I was in high school, I had friends who were wealthy, rich, and their parents were the nicest people. They've always asked me what were my future plans. I mean, that's real stuff. Because in the movies and propaganda, rich people are always these villains. There's a reason for that, to keep you out the club. Let's see. I disagree with Grant on that. Buying a house is a bad investment. I disagree with him on that. You got to live somewhere, you know? And some people, a home is a good choice. For some people, it's not. All right, that's the link to the deal. And Mark Fox just said some of the realest stuff. People need to think successful people don't want to hang out with drive free and unsuccessful cats. And I'm going to tell you why. When I went to this event and everybody in there was making money online, for real, no joke, no bullshit. And the conversations, people started mentioning numbers. It's like, well, this is what I did. This is what I did. And because everybody was really making money, there was no jealousy and bullshit. It was kind of like, well, okay, well, this is what I did. Oh, this is what I did. There was a lot of sharing and hooking up and stuff. You can't hook up a poor person. It's like you're trying to make a size 10 sweater and there's only enough material for a size 2. Someone asked, like, what you got to do? You got to start being active. You don't have to become rich. You have to be going for the riches to run into these people. You have to be doing stuff. You're not going to meet them on Facebook. You're going to have to get out and talk to people, have a story to tell, present yourself really well. Shoe 45 would like to start a hair and skincare business. 30 days to 2,500. The link should be under the video. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to the escape. All right. So what I realized at 150 was life got much better. Then at 2, holy shit, at 250, you start. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. I'm not, because I know people out there struggling, but sometimes you forget how much money you have. That happened to me around the 250 mark. And it was like, I would like go. I mean, it's stupid stuff, but this is abundance. I would like go to a nightstand and like, oh shit, I got $400 in here. When I was in that 50 to 20, I knew where every penny was, and I raised my hand. There's many times I went to the coin store to cash in the change I had to put gas in my tank. Because when you are poor, money is like all up in here, not expansion, not abundance, not freedom. It's just, how do I survive from one day to the next? And that's a lot of energy that goes into that. JC Sanchez, what do you do when your friends have a 9 to 5 mentality, but you have the hustler and business mentality? Change friends. It's just that simple. You're not going to change them. So you just change friends, go to the birthday parties, cookouts, hangouts, and just don't say too much. Because I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends who become the most successful person in the circle. They either become the family ATM, the friend ATM, or they become despised. I had a friend, and because I'm not going to say his name because you can Google him, and he said, it just got to a point, I don't even talk about money with my family. It just gets too fucking weird. I said, what do you mean? It's like, I'll come in and say, I just did this deal and I made 250,000, and everybody looks at me like I've robbed a bank or something. And he just went on about his family. And this is where I talk about tribalism and all this other stuff. If everybody in your family has like a job, and you seem suspect because you're making way more money. And I've had this issue with many of my clients who are young, who are making more money than people think they're making. And when it comes out, people get weird. It's like, well, since you have so much, you should help me. It's a sense of entitlement that borders on ridiculous, because many people feel that for someone to get wealthy, and you see it in the news, that someone lost. Now let's just talk about this. At those high levels, yeah, like right now, the government has a problem and it doesn't know what the fuck to do. And the problem is Airbnb, it's Uber, and it's other companies like that that can get $2 billion revenue without government hooking up the government. Like Elon Musk built this solar panel factory in New York. And whenever you get to these bigger deals, like if you're a company and you're going to build a factory, it's going to get political. It's going to get political because you got to you just can't throw up a building in someone's city without talking to them. You just can't do it. So you got to go in there, you got to talk to people, network, politic, all this other stuff. So at the highest levels of really big business, let's just say the Fortune 2500, they have to deal with the government. And it's just like this. And this is a reason so many congressmen go into office and come out rich, is because they're hanging out with these cats. They've upgraded their circle. You know, you just this bright-eyed, starry congressman from, Kokomo, Indiana, and next thing you know, the CEO of Boeing sitting in your office. There's a reason they get rich. Let's see. No box descriptions. Irvin, I want to start my own YouTube. Should I just jump in and start making it what's on my mind? Yes. Just being Marcus, I'd like to salute you for creating this channel to help people like me. Welcome aboard. Thanks. Kyle, I got 2262 at the coin store. I remember I got excited once, right? I had this big 5-gallon jug, and it was a good year where not a lot of shit went wrong. So it just stacked up, took it to the coin store. It was like, damn, there's $600 in there. And that was a milestone to me because I was so fucking impressed. It was just to have a year where I don't have to spend any extra money on this and things went well. I didn't realize I was calling a lot of that bullshit into my life, because when I was in the 50 to 20,000 range, all I thought about was, please don't let shit go wrong. That was a predominant thought in my mind. Now I think, how can I make more money? Well, that probably didn't work. Well, how can I make, that's the predominant thought. So the whole thing switched. But when all you think about is surviving, that's all you're going to do. Rose, I love the courses, a lot of vital information. Thanks. Jeremy Love, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's the reality. Irvin Thomas, I'm so broke I can't even buy a course. I don't have ambition. Next year will be different. You have to make it different right now. Poverty inhibits critical thinking skills. Big times, because all you're thinking about is surviving. Zero game balance, some valency. Oh yeah, the whole community thing. I let that shit go years ago. It's good to say, but most people are not going to invest in it. Glenn, I went to college for special education. I'm currently working at a school district. It's depressing. People in my school don't have a mindset. Should I leave? That is your choice to make. But I can tell you, in that environment, you're not going to get any better, and you're not going to change those people. You're just not. It's just not. All right, here's the special that goes on during the stream. It's the 24-hour startup. It's the Power of 6 productivity course, and it's scripted days. How to get your mind right, get your money right, and start a business. Because with this whole thing of getting out, it's going to take a plan, it's going to take money, and it's going to take you changing your environments. That's what's the hardest thing for me. You got your best friends, right? And I like what LeBron did. He took his friends up with him. They all started off poor, and he took them all up. And they all came up. So now he has a pure group of people who know his past, who know his journey, and who know his future. That's just fucking brilliant. And I know someone else who built a team like that too. Let's see. ACBM model creations, but I want to buy one of your courses, but I'm not sure which one would help my business the most. 30 days to 2,500. I had a Max Spaghetti. I had a discussion with a friend. I told him oil is running out. He told me he saw a shitload of oil tankers in Houston. I replied, oil is limiting. This is the thing. You know, Houston is an energy town. So it's very atypical because it's kind of like, all right, go ahead and Google Chastain Park, Georgia, and just Google the home prices. So that'll save me a little time. I see Ferraris and Porsche and every exotic car you can think of every day. But I have the intellectual capacity to realize this shit's atypical. This neighborhood's not norm. I go 30 minutes outside my neighborhood. I start, if I go to Cobb County, I'm gonna see a bunch of Chevys, Impalas. I'm not gonna see this stuff. So yes, there's a bunch of oil tankers in Houston, but that doesn't diminish the fact that we're running out of oil. Houston's an atypical place. So, I can understand why you got frustrated with him. The LLC course started. There's 2 courses. You've got homework to do. There's going to be more. Is there a good book on having to be a good negotiator? Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff. And I'm just going to show it because I'm going to have 18 people email me versus watching the video over. Hold on a second. And hold on a minute. I'm going to keep that because I want to read over that again. Oren Klaff. Book's all about negotiating. There you go. I'm going to leave that up for a second. A lot of people ask me about what course should I buy. Here it is. If you're starting a business, like a service business, if you're starting a physical product business, 30 days to 2,500. What I'll do, because it'll get crazy. Anybody who sees this stream, and this will expire tomorrow, email my assistant at hustlerskungfu@gmail.com, and I'll do 60% off because I think it's like $800. So it's 2 something. If you want 30 days to 2,500, do that. 60% off will make it happen. All right. So everybody got Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff? Because I left it up there because I know what's going to happen if I don't. I'm going to do something totally different. The thing with the online courses, I'm starting to build something different, and it starts with Uncivilized Profits, which is a marketing course. Because here's the thing. Everybody wants to get into trying to make money online without an audience, without a good customer base, without something built up. And that's when most people fail. You need to have something going on before these things will really work. Let's see. What do you do if you have property that you share with bum ass siblings? We could be renting rooms in a property, but a sibling of mine refuses. Daily, move the fuck out. Okay. Here's the thing, and this kind of goes into this classism thing right here. You got some property, you're sharing it. You're dealing with family. You're not dealing with business people. I'm going to give Trump a prop here. He groomed all his kids to be business people. They're all business people. They would not be having that conversation if they had some property to rent. They would do what the money dictates. So if you want to move out and start your own thing, because you can't change them. And one of the things about giving people stuff or leaving them stuff without expectations or training is they typically lose it, or or something bad happens. I don't think of tax deeds as a business. How can I know who will help and who's a douchebag? I don't know what you mean. I don't live there. It's a property that's one third mine. We're all on the will, but one of my siblings is a bum and wants to live there instead of renting rooms. You're stuck. Okay, you just stuck. This just like, hey, this was left to me by grandpa, whoever, and I'm gonna ride this shit out. Ain't nothing you can do until he dies or something or moves out. I mean, that's just the reality. Typically, when people put these things in play, they're being very charitable, they're being very big hearted. Um, I had this elderly woman tell me this about her daughter. She says, I know she's waiting on us to die so she can get the property. This was this woman's mother. And it was true. I don't know, maybe she's dead now and they got the property, but that's the deal. You have people who are waiting to get certain things out of life due to expectation. And it gets real dicey when you're dealing with family and everybody wasn't groomed or trained to be the same way. It just really, it really does. Now, what you want to do is write a goal where you want to be doing 250 a year. Now, will you get to 250 a year over? No, no, no. But you write that goal down on paper with a pen. Don't type it in your day timer, but write a goal. It's like, I want to earn $250,000 a year by serving my community or whoever. Write that down and start working on it. Writing it down and start working on it. Like, you know, you don't have the money now. No, but getting started, you start to pull people to you who can help you on that journey. I didn't get here by myself. I've had so much help. And most of the help came because I was on the playing field. I was suited up. I was playing. You're not going to get somebody to help you, or you're not going to get a coach to school you on the side when you're not suited up in the game. There's a documentary on the zoning laws. Y'all have some great conversations over there. But typically, you have to escape this because, all right, now let's get to the part where I'm going to talk about what I call the fake ass middle class. The reason it doesn't exist is it's the largest group of people. And if these people were truly educated, if they truly had options, they would be very hard to control. But since they're not, and this isn't saying people are stupid or they don't have college degrees, that's what I'm saying. People are not educated on how the world really works. They're not educated on how business works. They're not educated on how government works, because every day I keep up with this because I have a few things I think are going to happen to President-elect Trump. And I'm just looking at the shit that he does. Like, he needs to stay the fuck off Twitter. The fact that he can't stay off Twitter and he keeps getting into these little petty little bullshit things and making these things, I just think it's not going to end well. I just think it's just going to be a problem. And the Republicans, the old GOP, they're fighting already, and he's not even in office. They're already fighting. So I look at that because while everyone's looking at what's that son to daughter war, the banishing of my swords, a lot of this stuff that's going on is a diversion while real shit's happening over here on the side. Like, I'm going to show y'all something. Hold on a second. Let me put this up. I'm not even going to tell you. Let me find it real quick. Okay. Hold on. We're going to do a little test. Let me keep the sound down, because if I put the sound up, I get a copyright strike. All right. I'm going to present this. I'm going to just let this go. Write down in the comments what you see. Keep watching. Keep watching. Now, go ahead and write in the comments what you see. All right. So just to show you how this game works. Okay. So everyone, it's going to come up in a minute. Let me, because I know there's a 30-second delay. Okay. Let's see. All right. Keep writing down the comments. Keep going. That's right, Frank. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right. So I'm gonna let it yeah, I'm gonna keep going. All right, I'm just leave it there. All right. This is something that happens all the time. By having so many things going on, quote, the bouncing basketball, you actually ignore what's right in front of your face. Yep. Crazy, ain't it? This is what's going on. So you got to kind of pay attention to stuff. So a lot of people missed the gorilla because they were watching the bouncing ball. A lot of this stuff in the media, the propaganda is the bouncing ball, and they're doing shit right in front of you. This is why you kind of got to come off of social media. I don't know anything about mobile phone apps. I have no advice for you there on that one. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's going on, and this is kind of what's happening with this middle class thing, right? The middle class doesn't exist. You are in a position of people who have and people who don't. And then there's various degrees of have. There's the ultra rich, where no matter what happens, they'll be ultra rich. Then there are the people who are doing like a few $100,000 a year. Shit happens, they weather it much easier. And then people who are doing under 50, shit happens, they're homeless. Shit happens, they're carless. Shit happens, they're divorced. Same shit that happens to these people who have more means, but because there's so much, the resources are so limited, bad shit happens. How would you ask an entrepreneur that does what you want to like to do for help? Shoe 458. Shoe 458. You find that entrepreneur and say, look, dude, I want you to help me, but I understand you need me to give you something in return. So what can I do to help you? Go at him that way. You're going to get way more, a warmer resource. You're going to get a warmer welcoming coming into the door like, hey, I will help you do whatever. You need me to mop the floors. You need me to take trash out. You need me to work for free for a week. Yeah. Okay. You might get through the door with that. Just like, hey, I don't know you and you don't know me, but will you help me and give me the best of you for free? I mean, think about that. Deeper D Roper GX. I've been off all social media except YouTube for 3 months. Productivity and quality of life is through the roof right now. Picked up an extra 3K. I purposely have been off of Facebook because most of the conversations about the election and the side and the people are fighting like Trump's my guy. Don't say anything about Trump. Hillary should have won. None of those conversations are going to make anybody money except for the people who are own the media agencies or Facebook. So should I take them out to eat? No, offer them something real. Most people making money, they don't need you to take them out to eat. No, offer them something tangible, something real, something that's no one else is offering them. I mean, that's what's going to do it. That's what's going to move the needle. That's what's going to get you in. Yep. All right. I'm getting ready to bounce. For those of you who want the Hustler Kung Fu Dojo 24-hour startup special, links in the stream, the links under the video. It's just some stuff for y'all to think about. I'll be approaching this subject again because there's so much to talk about. But just to recap, you got to get past, you got to get out of that $50,000 a year range because, yeah, you could survive and you could put cheese on your Whopper, but it's so limited that shit happens. Like I used to have an X5, right? Shit blew up, just blew up. I got rid of it, got my money out of it, and next day later, I went and paid cash for a car. Now let's go back when I worked in the hospital. If that stuff had happened then, I would have been so ass out, and I had a family. I was the only one working. It would have been really, really bad. I remember I had a car. The gas needle didn't work. You know, sometimes it worked, sometimes it was like it go on strike sometimes. And I was on my way to Northside Hospital to pick up a check with my daughter in the back seat, and we ran out of gas. Old gentleman picks up and he said, you know, because I put her on my shoulders and I was walking to the service station, which was like 2.5 miles away. Dude pulls over and he says, "Oh, I see your car broke down." And he picked me up. We went and got gas. And he says, "Well, any dude walking with his kid has to be a good dude." That's the only reason I got picked up. Otherwise, my ass would have had to walk to all the way to the gas station. But that's how hard shit was. That's why when I, you know, I hear people and they're talking about stuff, and I'm like, you don't work that hard. I know for a fact they're not working that hard. I've been there. Yeah, get past the 50K. Then once you do that, get past 100. And once you get past 100, get 150, then 250. And, you know, we'll talk about getting there and not being overly leveraged. Ruben Fernandez, why don't you get a massive ass pot of people at $5,000 each and start something big? Let me tell you why. The more people that you put in at a management level and everybody that contributes $5,000, everyone's going to have equal say. You can't get shit done. You know, everyone's talking about like, hey, let's like take 5 people, put $5,000 in. This is the thing with people who are under the $50,000. When they give you money like that, they want immediate fucking returns. They're not going to like, hey, here's $5,000. Here, take 5 to 10 years to make something happen. Wrong people. That's just, it ain't gonna work. I've tried that shit. I've tried it several times. Everybody's talking. All right, let's just have this conversation. When you walk down the street, how many people do you say hello to? This whole notion of people working together, especially when there's money involved, is very hard. That's why companies need managers. And, you know, my favorite coach, Nick Saban, University of Alabama Roll Tide. You know what his greatest strength is? He's an amazing manager. People come and go. He replaces them. They buy into the culture and they're producing at the same level. So that's the thing. Yeah, that's just it's a fantasy. You must have people who have the ability to lose $5,000 to invest in something and not have any say so. It's like, hey, here's my 5Gs. Now I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to get historical on you. That's how Martin Luther King got by. That's how Malcolm X got by, because the people contributed and paid for their leaders, and they didn't have to have outside sources of income. All right, I'm out, y'all. Y'all got the links. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment.